Just want to say thank you to Dubai. I've had a wonderful month here. Come out then for the 30x30 Dubai challenge because we had lots of events planned with our 3v3 UAE team with Jess and Ben. We've not done what we wanted. We wanted the big game with 30,000 players, but I've not got the exact number yet. But we weren't there. We knew it was going to be a big ask to do 1,000 players a day, but done plenty of events where we've done up to 1,000 kids and adults, mainly kids. We've done, but yeah, we've done plenty of events over this month. Finishing up now with our last couple of days, where we've got a big tournament on Saturday. We're doing the Dofa League on Sunday, and then we go into a bit of a quiet period where we've got some tournament or partner tournaments that we're working on, and then ready to kick off big time in January with some school projects, with our club programs, with our own sessions. Got a tournament on the 31st of January, which is an open one. We're going to the Abu Dhabi Cup in mid-January as well. So yeah, lots planned coming up. So get involved if you like. What I've seen, and I've done now 3v3 for I think it's nine seasons now. And I've seen, and obviously football is football around the world. There's different parts to it in different countries, but at the end of the day, it's just people with a round thing try to get it in, a goal at the end. So I've seen then various ability levels. I've seen various structures and setups and how it works here. And not surprisingly, just because I've been here before and I've seen it elsewhere in the world, but there's a group at the top, and then there seems a bit of a big drop then down to like the lower end and players who play, and that's partly because I think is some are really serious, and play a lot of football, and some just play for fun, and there's nothing wrong, with either of them. But I don't see that there's something to bridge that gap in there. So when we're working with these top end players, it's great to see the skills and the ability levels and that are on show. It really is good, and I say we're lucky. I get to work with the best kids back home in the UK. So I can see the comparisons, and you can see they're just busy. They're in good academies. They're playing matches. They're doing extra training, and that's probably the key to it. Then is they're doing extras. I see too many players out here, and rightly or wrongly, and it's everyone's choice, is they do 1 hour training and 1 hour match, per week, and expect to get, a lot better from just that minimal amount, of work. And it's easy to do a comparison of saying, if you only did 2 hours of school a week, would you learn, that much, really? So some might say, yeah, you probably would do. But if you only do 2 hours of football a week, don't expect that acceleration to be quick. And it's those extras then that players need to do to get from this starter group up to this top end group then as well. What I've also seen then is a lot of players who don't play football, and a lot of the school events and that we've done, and especially then with girls who just whether they're not, I wouldn't say they're not interested, but they just don't play football. They'll have other hobbies and that they're more involved in after school and at weekends, and they might only play football, once a year with a school, in that term, or what that they're doing it then. So they don't play it regularly enough. But the enjoyment I've seen in those girls just being active with a ball, playing with friends, is definitely something then that one always warms my heart, because I love being involved with people who don't play football as like the main hobby, and getting them into it, and seeing them they'll score the first goal, kick the ball for the first time. It really is a nice feeling. But to say that there's a place then for them to make that jump, and that sometimes is hard because of what the options are that are out there. If someone wanted to join an academy and say, "Oh yeah, what's your football experience like?" I've kicked a ball once in the back garden. You're not going to be going into a team, so you're going to have to look for like a training group and someone regardless of their age, they're going to have this beginner, needs and with their training and coaching. And obviously, all this is going to lead on to where 3v3 fits into this program. And again, we've been there, done it. We've run loads of these programs over the years now, and starting at the top end, this elite program, who are playing lots of football already, doing lots of maybe one-to-one, individual or small group coaching, and where 3v3 fits in with that is it's that bridge from what they'll do it in their training sessions to what they can do on match days. So regardless of format and match days, whether it's 5v5 all the way up to 11v11, the chances they'll get to repeat what they've done in training is minimal. Just on amount of time that they're on the ball is minimal. You then put them into, like, we've been working on this situation, whether it's an in possession skill that you're trying to beat a player 1v1 in a game that might only happen 2-5 times, like nothing much at all. So what they're practicing and what they're then actually doing, it's just, you're not doing it enough for it to become that, to get that muscle memory, to get that confidence to keep on doing it. And that's where 3v3 really kicks in, is the amount of times then that we can repeat that action that you've been doing in your training sessions over and over again in a small pitch when you're constantly on the ball. So it just massively increases the times and that you'll have that chance to do what you've been practicing. So it definitely fits in there. Also, there's loads of benefits then at this top end of just playing this mixed format football. I put a video out of a podcast I did with Pete Sturgis, who's he's the ex-lead coach for England FA. And if people who've been in coaching in the UK over the years, you'll know who Sturgis is, like an absolute god of the game, a legend when it comes to foundation age coaching. And he says, we've had plenty of discussions over the years, myself and Pete. It's this mixed format. It's not always about doing the same thing over and over again, because it can get a bit boring, a bit repetitive. And again, I always use the analogy then, if I love steak and chips, but if you had steak and chips every night for me tea, I'd probably get bored of steak and chips after a while. Same with football then. If you only play the same format, you're only playing the same position, you're just not challenging, you're not having that stretch zone. You just probably won't enjoy it as much, over time. You still love football, but you're not going to push yourself to be at the next level. When you listen to a load of ex-players now who are on podcasts, and there's a load of great ones out there, they always generally talk about when they were younger, they played in different positions, so to where they actually ended up. And at 3v3, you are everything. You've got to be in every position for the whole game. You're not an attacker, you're not a defender, you're not a midfielder, you're everything. And that brings out this individual player, this 1v1 like skills and that you'll need, the confidence that you'll need to do it, let's say that repetition then of being in this situation, this scenario of what to do, whether you're with the ball, without the ball, you're supporting your teammate, you're defending, at the space. There's loads of time that you're just going to repeat this. Okay, so for all the technical benefits, is all there. The physical elements as well. You'll never get a more intense game than 3v3 for a fact. I say sometimes I'd be 3v3 is okay, and don't sell it for how great it is. But I've never seen anything that is more physical demanding than a 3v3 on the air pitch. And we've seen that. There's some players I know. They've got the 8-minute games, and they go, trust me, once you play 3 or 4 of them, you're absolutely blowing. So even these top level players who generally have better fitness levels, they'll still struggle to keep up the demand. So the improvement on that physical side again is plain to see. The amount of players or amount of coaches who come to me over the years and told me like the difference they see in their players on a match day on a Saturday or Sunday because they've been doing regular 3v3 in the week, I've lost count. I say 100% that it benefits them playing on a weekend. And a big factor for me is just that confidence and that instilling in players. And it's nothing to do with what we do, and we have this great coaching philosophy. It's just by allowing the kids just to play and be on the ball and to trust themselves, and make their mistakes and learn. And then when they go into the weekend, they just feel they're just more confident. They've had a bit more practice at doing what they want to do at weekend. So there's loads of benefits for these top end players. And the good thing then, what we can do at 3v3 is we can split the ability levels up. Now, obviously, being new in this country, say the people who are playing it is still relatively small. But as this expands, and we'll start having, leagues and where, we can group the top teams with the top teams. All right. And we can also have this development league, as well. So just playing against, similar ability players will just push on. We did a program last week with some of like the best girls in Dubai, and not just Dubai, they come from all over. And one of the comments I heard after that was, it's very rare they get to play with at such a level. Yeah. And it was nothing to do with the coaching. It was just that player on player, they were up against better players all the time. And again, generally in the team, and that's not just this country, in most countries, you'll have some players who are up here, some who are, medium level, some who might be a bit lower. So it's these top players who we want to push on up, is giving them that competition. Prime example, the picture then behind me here is of the Premier League event that we do back home. So every year when the under-9 sign for any of the Premier League or Category 1 academies, all come and play 3v3. Right, so they're playing the other best kids in the country. Yeah, so the standard of them games, I say, we set up, we run the event, but I'm just amazed, by watching some of these players. And what we've seen over the years, and it's crazy. So that's that top end program then that we can cater for, adding competition, adding that extra level then to it as well. We're going to have then obviously we'll have local tournaments, but we'll build this up as we grow around the country. We'll have some more national events. Obviously, say we've got the Abu Dhabi Cup coming up. We've got some events with Delta coming up. So we'll be up, with the best players around as well. So that'll be great competition for the players to almost test themselves against the other best players, around. Moving on then to this lower end ability group. Now, there's generally 2 reasons or 3 reasons why the lower ability. One is they're just new to football. Yeah. 2, as I said before, they don't play enough. Yeah. And 3 is they're just not active in any other sport. They don't do anything. And there's probably a few others around that as well, but they'll be the main 3 reasons then, why kids are in, jumping up to this top level, as mentioned before. We have some programs that, are beginner programs. So start off right at the bottom, never kicked a ball. Okay. Some of it then it's like a bit of a ball mastery session. We're constantly on the ball, but it's all game related. So there's never a kid stood in a line waiting the turn. There's never a cone, inside, or there is. Sometimes we dribble through cone, but there's not a cone then to stand behind and wait your turn and for the coach to pass to you and you have a shot and then you go back to the back of the queue. None of that at all. It's constant interaction with the ball. All right. Whether that then is dribbling on your own, working on yourself, doing some 1v1 stuff, but it's always game. Okay. So for that full hour, however long that session may be, the player then just on numbers alone, never mind how good a coach is that we have on our team and what the air pitch brings, just on numbers alone, the player just gets better. Okay, adding everything else, and we see this accelerated development is massive. Okay, from these players who have never kicked a ball before. Okay, so we have sessions then for them, and again, it works because of the smaller numbers that we can do, because we're not aiming to build teams and go and compete in leagues. Is we're just offering a safe environment. Now, these kids might never ever go and play like normal football, as you call it, but they love playing football. They love football. They'll see their friends do it. They watch it on TV. They support, a club, and they want to give it a try, right? But there's nowhere for them to go. So we have this beginner group. Obviously, the smaller ones is little lions, little lionesses, but we then got some older programs as well, where there's someone who, at 11 years old, 12 years old, all of a sudden now wants to start playing football, it's like, where does it go? Okay, and we have a place for them within some of our sessions. So all the details of all the different types of sessions will be up on the website soon. But there's this starter group. Again, that's going to be a big part of what we do, and it will feed from some of the school programs that we've done. As I just mentioned there, little lions, little lionesses. We're going to do some like little small, like not call them baby groups, because they're not babies anymore. So from like 4 to 7, generally then is the age group where they're just starting off to play, and we'll come in, we'll teach them the basic fundamentals of what football is about. There's other companies who do that as well. There's nothing unique on that there, but ours will all just be game related and getting them ready to when they want to go and play like normal football. We're not going to be a club. We're not going to offer like these teams, to go and play in leagues, and we'll work them with our partner clubs. So if players do want to join off the back of these programs, we'll feed them out then into like the partner clubs that we have links with over time. So yeah, we've got no intention of setting up our own teams. It'll just be feeding and helping clubs, okay, with that. The other group then within that there is players who are already playing, right? But their ability level is low. Like I said before, they're doing an hour training and an hour match days a week. When you actually break it down and work out, by the time they've been sub, by the time the ball's been out of play in a match day, and I've got the stats. We've done all this on different formats. Yeah, is players are on the ball for 2 to 3 minutes, in a general match. Even at Premier League level, yeah, the stats on there, the ball's out of play, the actual average game time is like 55 minutes out of the 90 or 90 plus. 55 minutes, the ball's in play, so just over half, and that's with the best players, obviously, in the world. You take that down then to younger players, where it's going to go out a lot more for a throw-in. You've not got ball boys around the side, bringing balls back. You've got to go and tag it yourself and bring it back. So the actual like grassroots, academy games, the ball's out of play way more. It's generally about half. And I've done there, sat there with a clicker and timed ball out of play. So half the game is wasted just on that. Goal kicks, throw-ins, free kicks, penalties, restarts from goals. All that's, like I say, added up and just reduces the game time. You then divide that game time by the number of players, and that brings it right down again. You then take into account you're on sub for, a quarter of the game. Let's say that's the best. Some are even less. They get half a game. Some are even less. So you think, how much improvement, how much they're going to be on the ball when they're sub for half the game. It's out of play for half the game, so they've only got a quarter of the game actually, available. There's 10 other players to share the ball with, so they've got to have the ball for 1 minute, right? And then we struggle and go, why aren't these players getting better? Like if you did 1 minute of anything, you're not going to get that much good. So at 3v3, again, we've got the stats to back this up. Done loads of data analysis over the years where the time on the ball, the ball in play, number one, is like 92%. Time on the ball is like 4 times the figures we've done from the data from compared to like a 5v5, a 6v6, and 7v7 games. We didn't compare it to 11v11 because it would just blow people's minds at the difference. So on between 5 and 7 aside formats, the number of touches is 4 times as much. The number of shots is 3 times as much. The number of goals was 4 times as much. All these stats are like on average was quadruple of what they get of their involvement in the game. All right. So you take, and again, just use this as an analogy. If they played for 4 hours, we're going to do that in 1. Yeah. So straight away, we're just, if they went and played almost every night of the week, we'll do that in 1 hour training. Okay, that's how much, like I say, extra then they get on the ball. So just again, I said before, just on pure numbers alone, that accelerated development, and it's a word that I constantly use, is you'll see it. These kids are, like I say, down this lower end level. All right, they're not going to get here like straight away, but we'll improve that journey, and we'll accelerate that journey for them. Then, so if clubs then, and again, some of the packages we've got, where we'll come into clubs, we do like a club like partnership package we'll come in every week, every 2 weeks, put on a session for your team or players or squad or whatever numbers you've got. Like say we can deal with up to like 70 players per hour if we bring all our air pitches. Generally, then with a club, we'll bring 2, just because you know we don't want to take too much space of your existing training area. So you look there on the picture behind me, you know what I mean, like 2. There's none in this area here, but 2 easily fit across the penalty box, like 3 actually fit across the penalty box. So we're not taking up much space. So with that, then we'll normally do, like I said, be 12 players playing, 12 players on a break, so they'll be on off constantly for an hour. So we do 24 players in that hour, and they'll play like 30 minutes each. Which again, said before, because the intensity of the games, they need them breaks. So we just do 5 on, 5 off, and so on. So yeah, that's like some of the club packages that we do. So we'll come in, we'll work with your setup, see what's right fit for you. And saying generally we've got some standardized packages, but we can be spoken to your needs. And you'll see over, like we've got like 10 and 12 with like terms of like 10, 12 weeks, you'll see that improvement on your players over that time. You'll also then, like say, attract, and this is something that we can't probably measure. Well, we can, well, what is not from our data, it'll be from yours, is clubs who are doing this against clubs who aren't doing this. When it's in a busy environment and a competitive environment, and it's what's this club doing compared to what this club's doing, this as an added extra for your team, it's going to make them better, make it more enjoyable. It's going to elevate your club. 100%. I know it will happen. I say we've not measured it, but I just know you doing this extra against a club not doing it, you'll see that the difference grow in numbers, but also then the ability levels as well. So if you're interested in the club package, speak to Jess, who's going to sell out Jess, speak to Ben, who's going to run the club packages, and see what's going to be right for your club. We're looking now, having conversation now about what we're going to do in January. Missed my train of thought now. Back to this, like I said, this lower ability group, all right? When they're only playing this 1 hour of matches at weekend, then generally, they're the ones who can get more sub time, who don't get involved as much in the game, won't play, centre mid, centre forward. They'll probably be shoved out there to the side, just so they're out of the way. They're not going to be that massively involved in the game. And I hate, the fact then that some players, they can't grow. They might love football as much as, and I say this all the time, the kid who can't play football and the kid who is brilliant at football, their love of the game could be exactly the same. So that, you speak to some kids and their knowledge of football and what they watch on TV and what they play on PlayStation, and they know all the players in the world, who's the best striker, who's the best left back. They know stats like I'm gobsmacked sometimes by what kids know and where they've been, where their career is, and they just love football, but they're just not very good at it themselves. All right. So give them that opportunity to be involved in the game, to come and play. Let's say just that fun element of it. I say, well, hopefully bridge this gap, that they've got, because they're just not doing enough, at the moment. Then now that might be resources, financial for some. It might be just like time. We just can't possibly do any more in the week. They've got other hobbies. They've got siblings. What parents have got to take to this session and that club, etc. And sometimes it just can't be done. So it's maximising when they are playing what they're actually doing. So yeah, the 3v3, like I say, we'll do the club nights. We'll have our own like air pitch nights where we'll do our just play sessions, which is just turn up and play. So you just come down, different age groups, different ability levels, and we just put the kids into teams and let them play. There's no coaching. We're there for safeguarding. We're there for obviously any injuries and illnesses and stuff like that. We blow the whistle and we have a break. We mix the teams back up and we go and play again. And it's just this fun environment. And you hear a lot of pros and people who probably my age as well. When I was a kid, we used to play on the streets, and there's just not that opportunity anymore to have this free flowing football. More so here like it seems, and then they say even back home it's really reducing. Kids just don't play out, on the streets or in the park anymore, and definitely so here. I don't think I've ever seen one park that I've gone past where I've seen kids just playing football. Might just be where I've been, but I've not seen, I say it once while I've been here for the full month. So they just don't go and do this like free play as such. So that's why Just Play nights are about, is just turn up and play for the hour, boom, you're done. Yeah, go on. And again, we have different age groups. I'm not a big fan of putting you in an age group. I put you in an ability level. Again, back home we have 7-year-olds who play with 11-year-olds. I've got a 12-year-old who plays with 9-year-olds because that's their level. And that's what's right for that individual player. So that's how we judge. So obviously, once you've done, a week or two, we'll then decide about this is probably going to be the best group for you. That might be moving up. This might be the best group for you. That might be moving down an age group. So whatever is right for you, and you're not fixed and stuck in that group. As and when, we move players up and down to make it that most enjoyable, fun learning experience for them. Then. That's some of our sessions then that we do. Obviously, Jess then is going to head up our schools program. Got a lot coming up then with some girls. Big passion of hers. Obviously, if you don't know Jess used to work for English FA on the girls pathway when she's run clubs here. She's built a lot of girls team. She runs like a train like a lioness program here now. So does a lot of girl programs. She has a daughter as well who's 5, who's in this like little lionesses age group that I just spoke about, who would want to play, but when she's been football before, it was boring because she was stuck in a queue and waiting a turn. All right. So when kids start messing around, it's not because they're naughty kids, because you've not entertained them enough. Yeah. And that's how I judge a coach of this early years foundation is, can you keep that kid's attention? And by doing that, it's keeping them involved with the ball and in the game, not stood in the queue. Okay, so Jess is going to head up the skills program and this early years foundation groups, and we've got. So get in touch with her if you want to discuss that for your school or your children. We're going to run then. Like I say, we've got some tournaments coming up already. So we've got some with Delta, which we run like the Dofa League. Not got details exactly on them for now, and if you can enter and so on. It's going to be more aimed at teams that were already in their program rather than anyone can join. But if it is, details will be on the website soon. We've got the Abu Dhabi Cup. So again, that's for people who are at the Abu Dhabi Cup in January. And there was a lot of teams from Dubai who head over for that. So we'll have 3v3, like little tournaments on both days. We'll also have some free play. So you can just come and have a kick around with your mates, kick around with your siblings, parents can get involved, etc. And then we're also going to have like a 1v1 tournament as well. So 1v1 is one of our programs we do back home. I know there's a few out here already. But yeah, it just brings it down from 3v3 to 1v1 using the air pitch again. We have small goals, we have big goals, we have different variations of our 1v1 program. So that'll be at the Abu Dhabi Cup. So come and see us if you're onto that. First big tournament then, and I think I'm going to say RPS or RGS, and I always get these wrong even now. I've got to go to one today, and I don't know which one. I'll have to check. One of the schools, we got a big tournament on the 31st of Jan. That's going to be from under 6s all the way up to under 15s, both boys and girls. So the details on how to register for that will be on the website soon. So that'll be on a Saturday. So we're trying not to compete with like existing football provisions. So obviously most teams play on a Sunday. So we're going to try and do a lot on a Saturday. We've got some leagues starting on Fridays. And again, once we see numbers and age groups and ability levels, we'll then drop them down into different league groups and so on. So that's going to be like our Friday afternoon program. We've got some adult stuff coming up as well, because regardless of how old you are, when we get a ball at our feet, we all become that little kid, at heart. So 3v3 for adults. Again, when you struggle to find a keeper for your 5 or 6 side team, when there's always players who are dropping out, so you end up with the bare minimum, or you just want to just come along on your own and play and be social and meet new friends. And for fitness, as I said before, on the kids' fitness levels we see, even more so with adults. And it's a great laugh because you'll always have that moment. Everyone gets that moment that they can go home and talk to the mates about and stuff. So it'll be good. We'll have some adult social stuff, but then we'll also have some more serious competitions as well. To a massive serious point where we're going to be hosting like some big 3v3 national tournaments for adults, both on a national level, obviously, but then on a world level as well. Just a bit of background. So 3v3 UAE is our 16th country that we operate in. So loads in Europe, UK, England, Ireland, Scotland, not Wales, Northern Ireland. We've got Germany, France, Spain, Netherlands has just opened, Greece recently opened. Where else? We got Norway, Denmark are all set up. There might be one or two I'm missing as well. USA, Mexico, Panama, Canada, South Africa. Where else? We got Malta, South Korea. Italy, I had a conversation with someone a few days ago about opening up there. So we've got this massive, let's say, global operation. We work with a load of national governing bodies in the individual countries. Over now, we do a lot of stuff for the World Cup in 2026 over in America, Canada, and Mexico, working with CONCACAF and working with FIFA. So we have this massive, let's say, program across the world, and we keep getting asked, can we do a World Cup? So we've announced it internally. And this and that's it, but it's an exclusive. But next November, the 3v3 World Cup will be here in Dubai at Real Madrid World. So yeah, I know there'll be a lot of teams from here that will want to play because it's on your doorstep. But we'll also be having teams from all over the world coming, both in our youth program, but also then a big adults program as well with that. So again, watch this space. As I say, details will be out soon on how you can register for the 3v3 World Cup. As other tournaments go, we've got the one in January. We'll start planning more and more throughout the year. We don't try and do tournaments too often in the same area, just because, again, we think this varied diet is the best thing, and not just if you only played 3v3, it's not the greatest thing in the world. If you only play 11v11, it's not the greatest thing in the world. So it's this mixed variety that we want to encourage players to play. We'll have more air pitches and stuff here soon. Say back in the UK, we do 1v1, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 7s. We've got all different size air pitches. So we have mixed format stuff. We've not got that much equipment here, but again, we will do 26, 27. But yeah, if you come and play the 3v3 tournament every week, again, it'll just get boring. So we're looking then to do different age groups, different ability levels, boys and girls. So over the year, your age group, your ability level, might only have 2 to 4 tournaments, but there'll probably be a tournament on, all the time, but for different groups. So look out for them. I'm gonna say it's a great day out. We put on some good events, and again, by doing this for 9 years, we've learned how to put on good events, and that's what we do. So hopefully, you'll come along and you'll enjoy one. So that's coming up. We have a license program as well. So this might not be relevant for a lot of people watching this, but the way we've expanded our program, both UK, other national countries as well, is not by just doing it all ourselves, it's by having the right people involved. So it's not a franchise, but that's probably in a one word or simple answer, it's probably similar to a franchise model that we have, where you'll become a 3v3 UAE licensee. Now that might be at one venue, it might be a whole city, it might be a whole emirate. There's different levels of licensing. So not going to go into too much detail in this video, but if you are interested in working with us, setting up your own business or set up a side business, which most people start as, so if you're a coach, you're a PE teacher, generally the people who get involved with us, this can be an extra income on the side, leading up to potentially a full-time job, just doing 3v3 with us. And I said we've done it all over the world now for years, so we know it, and we know it'll work. There's nothing much more I want to say on this video, but I say again, apart from thanks to everyone who's made me feel super welcome while I've been here. Like I say, I can understand now why people move here for good. It is tempting. I'll have to speak to the wife and see what she thinks. But no, I've loved my time here. Met some great people. Been to some like I say, unbelievable venues. You know, we've had Wayne Rooney, Sean Garnier, Michael Owen, all play, you know, all doing stuff with us over the past month. We've been to the Palm, the Birds, you know, we've just been at some amazing places, some top schools in the country doing it as well, meeting some ex-pros and meeting some, like I say, kids who have never kicked a ball. So finish off then with my favourite story of the month. And it was a young lad who, I don't know if he was on the spectrum, but again, looking at him, he probably was. Just the way that he just moved and spoke and so on, and he had no idea about playing football, right? So he was very inquisitive and spoke and asked me lots of questions. And you seen him kick a ball, and people say, "Oh, he's got 2 left feet." I think that's an insult to left footers like myself. So I always say he's got 2 right feet. Just couldn't kick a ball. Yeah, no coordination at all. But he got involved. He wanted to run around after the ball and so on. Right. And by pure luck, maybe by chance, it was not a skill or anything. The ball come to him and he just swung his leg and it went in. And he turned round and he didn't know like what to do. Yeah. And one of his teammates then, like say, just run up to him and jumped on him. And then he started getting dead excited and they were all cheering stuff. So the joy of that kid's face. Now I don't know his name. Don't know if he'll go on and play football, you know, at any level ever again. But that's my moment of the month. It's being involved in that moment of that kid. Hopefully he'll go home, he'll tell his parents, he scored his first goal, they'll fall in love with the game, they'll go and want to buy a ball, they'll go and want to join a team. And that for me is my job done. As a coach at heart, I said it's a great business that we run, but yeah, I'm just a coach at the end of the day. And that's what I've seen, being involved in these best kids in the country, but also then these kids who've just kicked the ball for the first time. So that's me. Thanks for listening. You got to this long. Well done. Right. But no, thank you again for everyone in Dubai has made me welcome, and 100% I'll be back soon.